Collective. It's your girl Ashley, your favorite YouTuber and your personal life coach. This is the final video of our Takeoff series, which is a series that has been guiding us to focus on our inner selves so that we can be transformed and begin walking in our divine purpose. All right. So, the topic of today's discussion is going to be about relying on the Holy Spirit. Okay. Learning to rely means to depend on with full trust and confidence. Okay. Relying on the Holy Spirit is not an easy task. And because of that, many of us are searching. We're looking for clarity and we're trying to understand how to rely on the Holy Spirit to lead us in our lives. During my own journey of pursuing my purpose, I'm still learning to rely on the Holy Spirit every single day. Okay. And I mean every single day. All right. But here's the truth: relying on the Holy Spirit means learning to let go of the need to do everything on our own and allowing our helper to take control so that we can be led into the destiny that God has already that God has already set for us. Okay, so by the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of who the Holy Spirit is, how he works in your life, and why it's important to rely on him daily. Okay, so let's start here before anything else. We need to answer this one question: who is the Holy Spirit, right? Okay, the Holy Spirit is not just a feeling or an abstract idea. He is actually our helper. If we look in John 14:15-17, Jesus explains that for those who love him and keep his commandments, the Holy Spirit will abide within us. He is the Spirit of truth. Okay, and then we look in John 14:26, we learn that the Holy Spirit is our teacher and our comforter. Okay, he teaches us all things and reminds us of what God has spoken. Okay, but then it goes a little deeper than that. In John 16, we see that the Holy Spirit convicts us, he guides us into all truth, and reveals what comes directly from Jesus. So he speaks what he hears from God and gives us insight, even into things that we wouldn't understand on our own. Okay, so when we ask who is the Holy Spirit, he is our guide, he is our teacher, he is our comforter, and he is the Spirit of truth living within us. Okay, so now that we understand who he is, let's now talk about how he actively works in our lives. Okay, so how does the Holy Spirit work in our life? According to 1 Corinthians 2:11-13, the Holy Spirit searches the deep things of God and reveals them to us. Okay, so this means something very, very powerful. The Holy Spirit lives within us to empower us, to teach us truth, and to transform us from the inside out. Okay, he helps us understand spiritual things, and not from a natural perspective, but from a spiritual one. Okay, he gives us the words to speak, the wisdom to discern, and the clarity to navigate life in alignment with God's will. And not only that, the Holy Spirit produces fruit in our lives. Okay, he helps to shape our character, he helps us to grow, and he allows us to experience God's love in a deeper, more personal way. Okay, so the Holy Spirit isn't passive, he is active. He is actively working, he is actively teaching, and he is actively transforming us every single day. Okay, so now that we see how he works, let's answer one final question. Why is it important to rely on the Holy Spirit, especially when pursuing our divine purpose? Okay, so if we look in 1 Corinthians 2:16, we're told that through the Holy Spirit, we have the mind of Christ. Okay, now really take time to think about that. Okay, on our own, we can't fully understand God's plans, but we can see the bigger picture. When we rely on the Holy Spirit, it's something that shifts. Okay, we begin to see differently. We begin to think differently. And we begin to understand things not through our natural eyes, but through spiritual eyes. Okay, the Holy Spirit aligns us with God's perspective. And when we're pursuing our purpose, that alignment means so many different things. Okay, because purpose isn't something that you figure out on our own. It's something that has to be revealed to us as you depend on the Holy Spirit or on God. Okay, so let's bring this all together to conclude and bring it to a close. Okay, we talk about who the Holy Spirit is, which He is our helper, our teacher, our comforter, and the Holy Spirit is the truth that lives within us. Okay, we explored that He works in our lives, guiding us into truth, teaching us spiritual things, and transforming us to reflect Christ. And we understood that why it's important to rely on Him, because through the Holy Spirit, we gain the mind of Christ and a deeper understanding of God's purpose for our lives. The Holy Spirit is not just with you, He is actively working within you to guide you, to teach you, and to empower you. Okay, so now here's the real question. Are you truly allowing the Holy Spirit to lead you? Okay, let's be intentional when we think about this. Okay, it's time to seek His guidance daily. Okay, trust His direction and surrender our own understanding so that we can fully walk in the purpose God has designed for our lives. All right, collective. So that is it for today's video. I hope this message inspires you to keep pushing, to keep growing, and to keep walking in your purpose. Okay, remember that transformation will always start with you. Okay, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, to comment, and subscribe. And if this video spoke to you, please share it with someone who could use a little motivation or encouragement on their own journey. I want you guys to stay focused, stay faithful, and always remember your best life is waiting on the other side of your growth. And don't stop here. Continue to look out for newer videos that will hit my channel to just give you the momentum to keep going and to stay tapped into your transformation. So until next time, peace, love, and kingdom vibes. Bye.